My name is Wolfgang Hall, and with me is Balaji.
I am Balaji Kannan. We talked to you about process manufacturing in an earlier episode of our webinar, and today we are planning on talking about discrete manufacturing. And Wolfgang, I know you are an expert in capacity planning and field service management, and you lead that practice here at Open Source Integrators. So why don't you start off this discussion by talking about capacity planning as it pertains to discrete manufacturing?
Yeah, be delighted to. So discrete manufacturing is, of course, constrained by a lot of different parameters. So we have the resources that is labor, that are actually the people doing the work. It's resources related to inventory that comes in. It is time, time capacity. So we have all these different capacity elements that matters for discrete manufacturing. And when I have to produce a particular item or a number of particular items, I really need to be well aware of what is actually my demand. And the demand is very much driven by sales numbers or planning data that comes into the manufacturing process. So this demand data, the planning data that I need, drives, okay, how should I plan out my level of inventory to support manufacturing. And I want to be just in time as much as possible to provide lean manufacturing principles, to really only have the resources available that I need to have on stock so I avoid overstocking.
Right. So this leads us into next question. When you plan for material, so what becomes important is how do you know how much of the raw material you need? So there is this concept of defining what a product contains. What does it need to make a product? What do you need to make a product? And we typically refer to it as bill of materials. So would you explain a few things on how this is put together and how the demand is arrived at for procurement, so the right kind of material can be purchased?
Yeah, as you said, the bill of material is a key element, particularly in discrete manufacturing where I have so many different products that I may manufacture. Every single product has their own bill of material. And it's very different than process manufacturing where I usually have a flow of input material and it doesn't change so much. But in discrete manufacturing, I may today manufacture product A and then tomorrow product B with very different type of input inventory. So I need to be very well aware what inventory I need to purchase. The bill of material gives me a list, a checklist of all the items that I need, and it's maintained and managed actually inside of the Odoo system. So I can set up my bill of materials for each individual product, and I can have product variances that actually show me type of different products with slight changes like color changes, red, green colors. So the bill of material becomes actually the key element of a discrete manufacturing process.
What I understand is the sales forecast drives the manufacturing plans, and the manufacturing plans with the aid of the bill of materials allows me to understand what I need to procure in time in order to make those finished products available that can be sold to the customer.
That's right.
So this is great. The way one thing leads to another in a chain of events, and it helps me keep my inventories right at the level I need them so that I don't spend too much in warehouse costs and inventory management.
Yes. And we have also the concept of work centers where we can do the individual work at every stage, and every work center can be planned individually. So I actually have a very smooth transition process, and in between these manufacturing processes, I have only the material necessary to get to the next step. So that's also part of lean supply chain management and manufacturing. Yeah.
That's good to hear. When you have a bill of materials, this works great. But these days we see we are used to making the products that we buy very custom to us. So how do we handle this discrete manufacturing to handle the custom orders from customers is something very interesting to do. and we have customers who deal with these custom orders all the time. So we cannot have a fixed bill of material in that case. We don't have a fixed package list because the package is determined by the customer and we don't have that order yet.
Right.
So in these make to order scenarios, I believe the open source solution that we help promote and we help install at our customers allows you to configure the products you need, determine the options the customer needs, provide them with the flexibility to choose the options they need, and the bill of material is derived from that order itself instead of having a predefined bill of materials. What do you think about that?
Well, I think you're making a very important point, and that is actually how we as an organization support customers to streamline their processes. As you know, of course, every one of these evaluations of how to optimize processes goes through different stages. So typically we analyze what is the need for this particular customer to set up their manufacturing processes. Then we optimize the processes, and we actually help them to transition into a production system. And at the same rate, we always collaborate with customers on the partnership level because they have the expertise for their particular manufacturing business. I remember a food company we just recently worked with. They knew everything about tortilla chips. I had no idea what's all going into tortilla chips. So
the colored, the ones that they make for Christmas.
That's right.
Special, it's a make to order just around Christmas time and nowhere anywhere else.
So made me very hungry for green tortilla chips. Yeah. Well, I think this is probably a good summary of the discrete manufacturing process. And please feel free to join us and look at our website at opensourceintegrators.com. There are additional webinars, including the one that we mentioned on process manufacturing, and a lot of other helpful tools for you.
Thank you, Wolfgang, for a nice, interesting chat on manufacturing.
Thanks, Balaji.
Thank you. And thank you again for visiting us on our website. Please do give us a call. If you find something not there on the website, we'll be glad to help you.
Yeah, thank you.